February the 28th, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today evening update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Now to the big story at this hour. Thousands of householders and businesses across two parishes will experience dry taps for at least 6 hours tomorrow. That's because the Barbados Water Authority will shut down the Bell pumping station again from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. The authority says the shutdown is to facilitate the continuation of electrical upgrades and will impact residents and commercial customers in parts of St. Michael and Christchurch. Low water pressure and outages will occur in Pine Gardens, Wildy, Parkinson Field, Titchbourne, Chapel Gap, Fort George Heights, South District, St. Davis, Edie Village, South Ridge, and surrounding areas. Minister of Tourism Richard Seeley is giving the assurance that construction of the much-touted $300 million Sugar Point Cruise facility is still being carefully considered. This, as he said, the government continues to examine the best way to separate cargo from pleasure cruise. Leading off debate in Parliament this morning on a supplementary to the 2016-2017 estimates, Seeley also defended the construction of berth 5, noting that as a result, the island had witnessed an increase in home porting, cruise passenger arrivals, and transshipment business last year.
So, to a large extent, I would say the additional berth has allowed or contributed to significant growth in, yes, our cruise numbers, which last season was at 757,000. And this season, they moved from 723,000 in 2008, 2009 to 757,000. But I think the more important statistic is contained within those numbers. And that is, of course, the growth in home porting. 2009, 2010, we had 120,000 home porters. We have in excess of 200,000 home porters this year.
However, opposition Member of Parliament for St. Michael North, Ronald Toppin, questioned the transparency of the process in awarding the contract for the building of berth 5, while asking for a bidding process for future berths.
We have the shocking award in this matter, a shocking scenario where an entire berth 5 project for $50 million was awarded to a company, berth 5 Limited, without the solicitation of bids. Not one bid was invited. There was no tendering process. In fact, there was an unsolicited proposal submitted by berth 5 Limited to build this berth 5 for $50 million, a totally unsolicited proposal by berth 5 Limited, which was accepted by the Barbados Port Authority.
A 26-year-old man is now behind the bars, at least for the time being, in connection with 2 murders. Lavardo Hines of Durance Lodge Road, Christchurch, appeared in court this morning charged with the murder of 18-year-old Omar Edwards of Bartlett Tenantry, Sergeant's Village, Christchurch. Now, Edwards died as a result of being shot multiple times after 2 men went onto his premises on February the 2nd and riddled him with bullets before fleeing. Hines is also charged with assisting 2 men that are accused of killing Michael Mapp, whose body was found in a shallow grave at Fortescue St. Philip in May last year. When he appeared in court this morning, Hines was remanded to jail until March the 22nd in connection with Mapp's murder, but has to be back in court on March the 28th on the other charge. 28-year-old Kamara Stout of Bottom Close, Wildy, St. Michael, is also charged with Sergeant Village shooting death of Edwards. Meanwhile, a 26-year-old woman of Regent Hill, Pinelands, St. Michael, was remanded to prison when she appeared in court today, charged with perverting the course of justice in connection with Hines, who had also been the subject of a police wanted bulletin issued in September last year. Ashley Anita Jones has to reappear in court on March the 28th. The Umbrella Trade Union movement has embarked on a year-long program that seeks to secure employment for persons with disabilities. General Secretary of the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations, Dennis DePisa, told a news conference this morning that the project, dubbed Employment of Workers with Disabilities, will collaborate with stakeholders in promoting the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. DePisa said that one of the outcomes he expects is for greater acceptance, engagement, and empowerment of such persons, which would lead to equal opportunities in finding jobs.
As an outcome of the series of plan initiatives that the Congress launches today, in collaboration with strategic partners, it is the hope that employers will develop a greater appreciation for workers with disabilities, and that the society as a whole will recognize that those who fall in this group have the same productive potential as the able-bodied members of our society. In the absence of statistical evidence to support the number of persons with disabilities who are found in the employment sector, it requires that the Manpower Research and Statistical Unit of the Ministry of Labour, Social Security and Human Resource Development undertake to provide labour market information on the number of persons with disabilities who are seeking employment and those who are actually engaged in the workforce.
Barbadian businesses are being urged to consider menopause and other biological conditions that affect women in drafting their workplace wellness policies. The call came this morning from General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Tony Moore, while speaking on the second day of the Week of Excellence seminar at Solidarity House.
And we also urge to note that when you are writing the policy, you should bear in mind that worksite wellness programs should help working families to balance work and family commitments. And where you can, you should seek to incorporate policies around child care, elder or dependent care, and flexible work schedules. We didn't say the 24/7 economy, but flexible work schedules generally. Insofar as the gender issue is concerned, we are of the considered opinion that the policy should insist that workplaces should meet, among other issues, the needs of menopausal women.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper, get your paper. Only 225, 220. Who? For what? That's the bear stale news. I don't read about that on Barbados today since last night. That can't only can't do. 220. Who?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. Fatal shootings by the security forces in Jamaica have increased by 55% since the start of the year. The details were outlined at a news conference by the Independent Commission of Investigations, or INDECOM.
2 months into the new year, and the number of fatal shootings by the security forces is telling. For January and February 2017, 31 people have been shot and killed by the security forces. But for the same period last year, the figure stood at 20. It's therefore an increase of 55%.
It's a worrying increase. We find it disturbing. If it were to continue unabated at this level, the new Commissioner of Police and the JCF would be overseeing a fatality rate which has not been seen since 2013, where the figures were reached over 200 fatalities a year at the current rate.
And that's not all.
15 of the people who have been shot, 8 of whom were killed, were not armed with a firearm at all at the time of their death, although 1 or 2 did have other weapons.
And finally, on the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump will address for the first time a joint session of Congress tonight, with all polls have him at the lowest approval rating of any president in modern times. The question is being asked, what will Trump do with the opportunity before him tonight, not only to increase his poll numbers, but to place his presidency on a better course? And that's news. But for the very latest, you can visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and you can like us on Facebook as well. We are also on Izumi Media in-bus terminals, our screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.